Everybody, happy holidays. Roll call, please. Meeting called order at 2 p.m.
Still not.
District 20,
Here.
District 25, District 33, District 34,
Here.
District 45,
Here.
District 48,
Present.
District 58,
Here, sorry.
District 60,
Here.
District 63,
Here.
District 66,
Here.
District 68,
Here.
District 88,
Here.
District 94,
Here.
District 99,
Here.
District 180,
Here.
District 201, District 202,
Here.
District 205. We have a quorum.
All right, with the room, we'll start the meeting. All rise for the pledge, please. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we are at public comment. I don't believe that any public comment submitted in advance. Is that correct? Any public comment from the audience? Hello, Jack. No. Any public comment?
No.
Okay. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda, please.
Yeah, just pretty basic. We try to make things a little bit more streamlined for everybody with some cover sheets, hopefully summarizing things a little bit better. Two things I want to, actually one thing I want to point out, there's a bunch of contracts in here. These are for the students that we have in our programs that are not members of the DWC program, if they're in deaf and hard of hearing programs, or students in SASSET programs that are not part of our cooperative. So this is something we've done every year. We just bring it here for approval. The kids are already in the programs. They're already being billed tuition. This is just the formal step to that. That's all I have to put out.
All right, any questions, anything related to the consent agenda? If not, we'll take a motion to approve.
66 members. Second.
Motion by 66, second by 60. Roll call, please.
District 63,
Yes.
District 66,
Yes.
68,
Yes.
88, yes, 94,
Yes.
99,
Yes.
180,
Yes.
201,
Yes.
202,
Yes.
20,
Yes.
34,
Yes.
45,
Yes.
48,
Yes.
58,
Yes.
and 60.
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, moving on to discussion information items, building and grounds update.
Sure, just quickly, we just wanted to remind you that we are in the middle of, or about to begin the stages of roof completion over at Southeast. So we have that scheduled for the summer, but you'll be hearing more information as we bring that here. But I just wanted to remind you that this was already budgeted for last year. We have money to cover it, and that's something that we're working on over the summer. Any questions on that?
I appreciate the light on. Would you be able to add when it says financial impact, what the cost is building the light and if we believe in the budget, just so they're both there?
You got it. We have enrollment. Our enrollment is steady at 389. Lizzie worked on a new format. We certainly would be open to input, but we're trying to, again, streamline everything for everybody's usability. Our program enrollment is very steady. You could see our OT, PT services and our deaf and hard of hearing services continue to service a lot more students than what's in our programs, but holding steady with that. And on the back, you can see the change in enrollment through the years. We're pretty strong right now. And then you can also see there's a bar graph just indicating how many are SASSET or DWC and then how many are not. So you can see that representation there. Any questions? All right, our staffing, we are unfilled 15 positions, which is down from 20 last month. Julie listed out where we are missing our staff. Southeast is, missing 2 teachers still, so that's been a little bit more of a burden. We have subs in there, and we have a lot of our instructional coaches continuing to support those programs, and these are our little kids, our first and second grade classrooms. So, we are hoping to get some student teachers in that have graduated that semester to join our staff.
Kim, just to clarify, when you say you're down 15 positions, that's 15 budgeted positions at
Correct.
the beginning of the school year? Thank you.
Yes, sure. And then as far as committee updates, Finance Committee met on the 4th. We continue to work on recommendations for the Medicaid settlement. We're prepared to bring something to the board next month for pretty strong discussion consideration. We're really weighing the pros and cons of categorical versus overhead. So more to come on that next month. And then the finance committee's meeting on January 8th. And then the facilities planning committee, we canceled this month's meeting, but we've been busy. VP was out Monday. He met with four focus groups. He's coming back on Friday, meeting with 4 or 5 other focus groups. VP is planning on coming to the facility meetings, the facility committee meetings that we already have scheduled forward coming. And then he'll be joining our board meetings probably in February or March. So starting with the facilities, talking about what he's finding, his thoughts, suggestions. We'll talk about that at the facilities meeting and then bring that forward to the board. So also then at our January meeting for facilities, we will be working on some staffing projections based on centralized versus satellite programs. So we're excited to bring that forward.
Great. Everybody's got their committee meeting dates down there. Just make sure you have those noted. That's the strategic plan updates.
Yeah, so this is a short one. My leadership team and I are working on doing a semester update based on all of the goals that are in our strategic plan. Just don't have that ready today. We're waiting to get some of the data from the rest of the semester. So looking to bring forward a more comprehensive report at our next board meeting to let you know how everything is trending. I will share, as far as culture, although I don't have a formal way of measuring that right now, I can tell you that, in talking with staff, there's different feels with folks. We had a Christmas party. We had about 150 people come out, did the whole thing. It was beautiful. But it's feeling good, going to the buildings, talking with staff. So we'll have more data in regard to that at our next board meeting. So just wanted to give that a little heads up.
Any questions on that? The executive director's report?
Sure. Just a couple reminders. Our January board meeting is going to be at Southeast. If you want a tour, get there about 45 minutes early. We'll walk around the building. And then our meeting in February is going to be at Lyle South. So smaller buildings, you don't need to come that early. We could just do that pretty quickly. In regard to classroom spaces, I actually have an update. We actually have enough classes for ESY and for next year based on the feedback that I received. So for ESY, Prairie View and Ryan's district, 202 and 88 have classes. So Lizzie and I and our PAs will be working on that over break to get that a little bit more finalized so you know where everybody's going. And then we needed 7 additional classrooms, 48 with their referendum cannot host Vision, and Mark is also doing some work. So we have 2 additional classes, so we needed 7 more classes. But District 34 has 5 additional classes, and District 180 has 2 classes. So if anyone has any other space that they want to consider in the mix, give that to us, because we'll be working on this over break as well, looking at programs and so forth.
We can have three classes, or the 3 same rooms you have at Albright next year, but like not any other schools.
3 at Albright.
Yeah. It's actually two classrooms, 1 office is what you're currently renting at Albright, and we will continue to have.
Okay.
Maybe not the same exact rooms.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. So again, I know that space is tight in all of your buildings, so we want to be respectful and get this confirmed up by our next meeting. So you do have space for next year. I know Matt will be hosting potentially 9 or 10 classrooms next year.
Be a satellite site.
So yes, thank you thank you everybody for getting back to me with that.
So I know you feel like we're okay with space for next year. That's
Huge. Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Question that others may have, same question as me. When is it communicated, and in terms of when people are moving or our programs moving? So So if you know, once we're solid, when's that shared with the staff? Because like I've got 2 classrooms and others may be in the same boat. We are not going to be able to host next year anymore. But those people are important to us. We want to communicate that the right way. I just don't know if that has come up much in the past in terms of how and when that's communicated.
So, last year, what seemed to happen, some folks were finding out last minute
Right.
that they
Right.
weren't
That's what I'm
able to
getting
do that. So, again, Lizzie and I plan on working on this over break and have everything together for our next board meeting. So I would think after our next board meeting, we would be talking more publicly about this. I know the staff at 48 already know.
Right. Under
Mark-
audience. And
Yes.
ours, I'd just like to talk to you guys
Yes.
about, so we talk
Yes.
about how to roll that out.
Yeah, that would be
We've been
great.
there a long time.
Yes, yes. So, yeah,
Yeah, that's all.
they
Just give them a
understand
little
it's
sense.
part of the co-op, so,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Right.
And then lastly, just on our radar, so everybody around the table knows that we belong to DWC, it's the DuPage West Cook board. I say board very, very tentatively, so it consists of 92 different school districts. Matt is our seat at the table. Lizzie facilitates the board. I sit in the audience. Even though we run the majority of the programs here and Lansing operates the deaf and hard of hearing for high school kids. What we're finding, or what is not finding, it just actually is, the board members, right, there's never a quorum, and there's no money being exchanged, there's no real business to be conducted. It's really more of a informational organization. So Ellie Ambule is the director at LADSI who oversees the hearing program at the high school level. We've been working with our attorney to take a look at our bylaws to kind of disassemble the board in its position as a board, but keep it more of an informational system. We still want to have folks belong to DWC. I think from SAS's perspective, that's going to be important so that we know who to expect and who we're working with. But there's no formal need to have the board. So I attached in here the draft of the agreement that we have and what we want.
That's the red line.
That is the red line version. The goal is for the DWC at our February meeting to bring this forward and actually really get a quorum there. So doing a lot of recruitment, take a vote to then move to this new organization of our previous board. If we have a quorum and if it passes, every 92 districts have to bring this contract forward to your board. It shouldn't be a lot as far as, it's just difficult to understand, but I'm fully supportive of this. I know Lizzie's fully supportive of it. Matt, I know you've been on the board. We've talked just, here and there.
This is a long time coming.
Yeah. So please review the red lines. If you have serious concerns, we developed a timeline. The districts would, or the co-ops would start talking to their boards, letting them know this is happening. If there's any concern, bring it forward so that in February we could, start moving on this a little bit more formally.
Kim, would we get a community clean copy? Because the majority looks like, the substantial majority.
You got it. Yep, I will get that. Yes.
Yeah, a little easier. But you can see a lot's removed, obviously.
Yeah. Yep.
There's just one thing, I've never quite understood this either. Again, maybe not the one with this question, but kind of referencing LADSI and us, but it's Arrow and it's NetSec and it's everybody.
It's everybody, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of districts that are just standalone districts that are part of DWC, but SASIT and LADSI actually run the programs.
Okay, I gotcha.
So my point of saying we have a board, a DWC board that, Matt has a seat on, I don't, Lizzie facilitates, it just doesn't make any sense to me at least.
Well,
At
and
least.
the
It's very
sidebar
odd.
is not whether or not who has a seat. The
Yeah.
reality is, when they redid this in the 2014-15,
they basically took every operational function out of DWC and put it at LADC and SACID.
Yeah.
And they didn't change the operational, the articles of agreement to match the fact that the board really had no power in operating any of it. And they, like we've had in the past, they can't get enough people even to get a vote on anything to approve the minutes, which is the only thing they actually approve.
Okay.
Kim, what would be helpful to us as superintendents, I don't want to speak for the whole group or add more work to you, but if you want us to eventually approve a resolution in all of our boards, if we could have a standard memo for all of us, and then
Yes.
we could all agree on when we want to bring that to our board.
Yes.
If we could have it, like a month out from when we
Oh,
needed
sure.
it, that way we can share it with our board and then ask for approval of the next one. That way we're just all consistent about our
Yes.
talking points and what we're bringing forward. That would be helpful.
Yes, and DWC we actually did the talking points for our boards now, so we'll definitely get that
Perfect.
together. It'll probably look like everybody else's.
Can I ask a follow-up question? If DWC has really no power or authority, it seems like an exercise in futility. I don't mean to insult the work that DWC. What do we need that organization for then moving forward?
So I don't know if I have all the answers or like a strong opinion on that one way or the other right now. I'm still getting a little familiar with it. However, though, when we talked about that, I said as one of the largest operational organization that is actually hosting all of the programs, I would want the capability to at least have a group to get information from, share information with, that belong to an organization, so that we don't have folks coming from down south sending kids here, or kind of all over the place. I think from my viewpoint, it's still kind of a good relationship to have with other folks that send students to us. We report out annually on how the students in our deaf, hard of hearing, and vision programs are doing. And there's no other way to get that information out other than in individual IEPs. So I think in that respect, it's
So
still useful.
Is the best way for us to think about this is almost a co-op for the co-op,
Yes.
so to speak.
I was just gonna say, it's like a co-op of co-ops, and it feels
Right.
like Kevin had said to me, I'm just talking out loud too, I have the same questions you do. Like, it's like an intergovernmental agreement of the cooperatives that requires the individual districts of the cooperatives to agree to participate. And then the cooperatives are sharing some programming and resources across that is largely us and LATSI.
Yes.
Is that kind of the same?
Yes.
So it's almost like a big intergovernmental agreement as much as it is an organization. it feels like. Is
To
that
give you
fair?
a perception,
No, I
Does that
get
make
it.
sense,
Yeah,
though?
no, it makes perfect sense.
That's my interpretation.
Is it fair to say though that LADSI and us, I want to make sure you guys aren't getting the short end of the stick though. If we have all these other co-ops belonging to it and you're in charge of all
We
the.
operate them all.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't know all the intricacies where if they're getting big tuition breaks because they're part of the co-op, but yet LADSI and SACID are doing all of the work, that's something I think we need to dive in a little further, just to be fair to SACID and
Making sure we're not
LADSI.
subsidizing.
100%,
Yes.
yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes. Lizzie
Because
and
it
I
sounds
have-
like a great deal for the other co-ops, but maybe not so
They
much
send their
for.
kids here, right?
Right.
Historically, what I've gathered is SACID has always run these programs. I'm not clear as to why LADSI doesn't operate all of the hearing impaired programs. They operate the hearing impaired for the high school at Hinsdale.
I can give a little history on that.
Oh,
Once upon a time, the deaf and hard of hearing program was actually housed in Woodfield. So that's going back 25-something years ago,
Really?
because I've had former students come and visit us
okay.
as they go back. So it may have been that we were the origin of that.
Yes.
And that's why SACID held on to it, because it was actually those pieces.
Yeah.
And the fact that what you have is a real low incidence piece, and it's a co-op of co-ops
Yeah.
that brought those together. And this actual intergovernmental agreement pretty much dissolves any ownership of the old co-op and allows the SACID to basically run its portion of it.
Well, and it makes sense to have a co-op together because districts can't sustain a vision or
And right now, we have 35 kids in the SACID districts that get serviced, whether through SACID or LADC. And I'm just looking at the list right now. Probably 15 people of those kids are in the LADC piece, which means we probably have 20, just looking at the list right now. So we're talking about such a low incident piece that our kids only represent 10% of it represents 10% of SACID for us to get those services, so we need to combine up with other ones just to make sure we have enough to do those services.
And Kevin, if I hear you correctly, we just want to make sure that SACID isn't getting undue expenses for running this program for everybody.
Correct,
Yeah.
and I'm not even suggesting that SAS or LADSI can't continue, and I just want to make sure the other co-ops pay their fair share, and
Yes.
as Mark said, we're not subsidizing other co-ops, because
Yes.
it does take administrative work, and so that's, I just want to
Yes.
protect us and maybe to a certain extent LADSI, but it seems like even in the administrative role, we're actually doing the lion's share of the work. And so just, again, if we could look into that, I just want to be fair to you and your staff and to all the member districts.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. And we have some other things that we'll be bringing forward to finance as well regarding some of our programs.
So net, this is a much simpler agreement. By my quick math, looking at the red or estimation, this 24-page document, when you take out the red, it's going to be about 8 pages. Yeah, it's a whole different ballgame. All good suggestions on the memo, I agree, so we can share with the board, so we can explain it or provide something behind it. They know that what we're doing. And what's the timeline for adoption then to that point? Is this something we'll be doing right away early in 2025 over the course of the spring? Or?
I think the plan that I walked away with was that they were going to talk about it in February and then ask us to get rolling in March and April, so when they come back in May, that they could have, the 47 of the 92 have passed it, so that they could then go into, affirm it in May and start their new year with the new model. Is that doable? Well, we're 18 of it, so we can help it move along.
Yeah, I think we actually want to take action in February.
At the DWC.
That's what I believe, yeah. So that, like, we'll have a quorum at the February meeting, and then it will go back to the districts. So what I could do is have something prepared for your February meeting to set it up, and then assuming it passes in February, you guys will be able to then bring it back to your board in March. So we'll have 2 different memos.
I'm just going to share, I remember those of us who were here when we had to have all of our 18 member districts approve our big changes that led to our change in governance, everything that we did here for SACID. That was a little bit of a slow roll because some districts did it this month, some did it next month, just because of their own timelines and how we all communicate with our board. So I'd say to give us a couple, if it's possible to give us back-to-back months, we can all agree that we're going to get this done, but we're only one small part of this huge entity here. Then you have these 12 or so individual districts out there. It's like a herding cats a little bit. I mean, it'd be hard to me to believe that all these boards are going to all do this at the same time or communicate as well as you have on this or the discussion we're having. So that's my concern I have.
We have to get to 47.
Yep.
And there's some good leaders in that group.
Yep.
That might, they may not get to 92, but they could probably get to 47.
Fair enough. Any other questions on this particular topic for Kim? Okay, if not, that should conclude our executive director's report. If there's nothing else on the regular agenda for now, then we will look for a motion to go into closed session at 2:25 p.m. for the 2 exceptions to the Open Meetings Act noted on the agenda. Get a motion.
So moved, Winfield 34.
Second, Mr. Tony. Roll call.
District 34?
Yes.
District 45?
Yes.
District 48?
Yes.
District 58?
Yes.
District 60?
Yes.
District 63?
Yes.
District 66?
Yes.
District 68?
Yes.
District 88? Yes. District 94?
Yes.
District 99?
Yes.
District 180?
Yes.
District 201?
Yes.
District 202?
Yes.